feel like I can talk now that I'm away from the campsite. It's a lazy Sunday morning and everyone's asleep. And I'm in the Lake District. I'm not going to sleep whilst I'm in the Lake District. So I arrived yesterday and the weather was absolutely torrential. It was really thundery, flash flooding everywhere. I kind of just wandered around Keswick because I'm staying at Cattlerig Farm, which is sort of, I want to say, southeasty of Keswick. I'm not really sure. But I'm here, and what I'm going to do today is just stay low level again because the weather's still due to be quite thundery and the cloud level just keeps changing. It certainly is a lot clearer than yesterday, but I don't really want to risk that. I'm going to be here for a while, spend some time getting some peaks in if the weather clears up. So today then the plan is I'm heading down to Derwentwater. I'm going to catch the launch to the furthest point on the southern end of the lake. I'm going to walk back round and I might treat myself in Nicole End to a kayak. I'm just going to give them a ring in a minute, see if they've got any left to hire today. And it's just going to be quite a chilled day. I think yesterday was quite stressful getting here and just sort of killing time. I find killing time stressful. But let me just show you the view from here. So we can see the Newlands Ridge. We got Cat Bales there, just going up to Maidenhead. Derwentwater's obviously right there in the valley. Keswick's over there to the right. And that's where I'm going to head now. So I'm going to work my way down on a little bridleway path that's quite nice to walk down that I came up yesterday. Hopefully I won't get lost through the woods like I did yesterday. And we'll hopefully get to the launch. I've got my ticket and I'm raring to go. Hi, you. You alright? Hello. Having a nice walk.
There are lovely views when you go down there.
Yeah, it's great. I walked up there last night and it was a bit cloudy, but now it's like, oh yeah.
It's gorgeous, absolutely. I wish I'd known about this. What's going on?
Little mini waterfall. Ah, best sound on the planet. You can see here up north we've got the remains of the bluebells. They're still out, but down near us in Somerset they're well and truly gone. So it's quite nice to have sort of backtracked a bit in the seasons, because I don't feel like this year I've really been able to enjoy the bluebells or the wild garlic as much as I'd like, or certainly as much as I used to. So it's kind of quite nice just to catch the end of it here. Oh, you gotta love getting out in woodlands. Best spaces. Oh yes, round in the corner, we're just coming out into a little fieldy bit and the views open out right over the whole of the Newlands Ridge. Look at that. Oh my word. That's pretty spectacular. And you can see the cloud is still quite low over there. So you've got Cat Bales, Maiden, my brain's not engaged. Unfortunately last night there was like a concert at the pub just down the road from the campsite and they didn't finish till like gone 1 in the morning. I kept thinking they'd stopped and then they'd start again, and I think everyone's just knackered. So we got here, which is kind of our landmark. That little mound is called Pike and the campsite's just down there in the valley next to it. So anyway, that's enough of that. Let's go. Doggy. Doggy. Go on. Well, she's gone now. You need to catch up. Go on in. You need to catch up. You're not my doggy. In terms of calming places, the woodlands is always top for me. You've got the sounds of the birds occasionally. You've got the wind through the trees. You've got the smells of the pines and the all the different types of woods and the mosses, the dampness, the freshness. It's such a stimulating place. There's so many different textures to touch. You know, if you're looking to practice mindfulness, I think woodlands are the best place to start. There's just rich areas, even in the depths of winter, with the colour and the different shades of browns and greens and the different plants that you get. I mean, look at this little patch just right beside the path. You've got all these giant buttercup things. You've got, I don't know what these are, wood anemones maybe. I'm no good with my woodland flowers. Give me more than one, so I'm much better at that, but it doesn't matter. I don't need to know everything about the environment I'm walking through to have a deep appreciation for it. And it's so important to me when I come into these spaces to just slow down and breathe and listen and see and really engage with myself, to engage with the environment around me.
As I was walking along, movement in the trees caught my eye. I stopped and stood dead still, heart in mouth, and watched in awe as not one but two red squirrels emerged from the cover, chasing each other up and down the trees. The red squirrel is the UK's only native squirrel species, with numbers estimated to be as high as 3.5 million individuals in the early 1800s. Since then, though, their population has fallen to as low as 15,000 across Scotland, Northumberland, Wales, the Lakes, Northern Ireland and Brownsea Island. They are stunning creatures and simply magical to spot in their coniferous homes, where they feed on seeds, fungi, nuts and berries.
Okay, so it's times such as these that I really struggle filming on my own. I've just been so blessed to see two red squirrels. Bearing in mind, I've pretty much grown up in the Lake District. I've come here year after year, season after season, and I've only ever seen two red squirrels at such a fleeting glance. And I've just had pretty much, I don't know, a few minutes worth of red squirrels chasing each other. Clearly one of them wanted to mate with the other one and the other was having none of it, but my goodness me, the speed and agility at which they can move through this dense undergrowth, the trees, the branches. The red squirrels very much smaller than our grey squirrel. Very hard to see them here in the UK because the grey squirrel population is just flourishing and wiping out the red squirrel. The competition is just, well, there is no competition. If you're a red squirrel, you're potentially screwed if there's grey squirrels about. But this kind of piney forest is perfect habitat for them. You know, I said to myself when I came here, oh, may or may not see some, but it's all about chance really. And I thought I heard someone rustling with a plastic bag, but it turns out to be their claws on the bark. And then I was like, oh my gosh, there's two of them! And now I'm just on an absolute high, and I have no shame in that. Yeah, actually it's so muggy today. Like I've just been going downhill for the last hour and I'm still sweating. What is that about? Hoping this works its way down to the lake. We'll find out. Oh, big steps. Okay. And there it is. Just through the trees. You can see the shimmering of water. Oh my word. This is the best place I can be right now. Here we go. So, just walking along the beach, and we can see this panoramic view that is pretty spectacular. Right, well I'm really glad that view is not going anywhere because I'm going to press on along this side of the lake shore until we get to the Keswick launch and hopefully pick up the 10 o'clock, the first boat heading out to the other side of the lake today. Like nothing in me wants to walk fast right now. I just want to like really amble along. I'm just down on another beach and we got this stone marker, and I believe this is meant to represent 100 years of ownership of this area by the National Trust. And the National Trust was actually originally formed here in the Lake District, which I think is pretty awesome. It's the homeland of so much of the protection of our heritage here in the UK. But people have made these like piles of stones. Look at them. It's quite cool. I'll try not to break it. Oh, careful. And the backdrop is pretty impressive. Morning.
Morning.
Alright. Oh, umbrella stuck. I'm just loving walking through this wooded space and checking out all the different trees. You know, we've got lime, we've got ash, we've got oak, we've got some geese flying over. There's hazel, there's silver birch, there's the pines, and there's been some yew. It's really amazing, and yes, this landscape has been moulded by hundreds and thousands of years of people living here, but it's still, you can't take away the natural from a tree, if that makes any sense. You know, I love the fact that like ancient oaks can be supporting something like 500 individual species of insect and bird and other plants that grow in the boughs of the branches. Oh man, there's just such a great space. And I'm not even at the lake right now, I'm just kind of curved inland. Every single step is just pure bliss. Just out on this little beach thing here, and you can see the route up to Cat Bells. The path is zigzagging all the way up. I can actually see some people working their way up, which is quite cool. And then the route just follows around, up, down, up, down, up, down, and then skirts back around the other side of the horseshoe before coming back down. It's definitely a spectacular walk, and we'll see how we go. Maybe sometime later this week I could head out and do that one. There's so many things to do. Where am I going? This way. I'm nearly at Friars Crag, which is an outcrop with the most insane view, and I've just come across this marker for John Ruskin, who was one of the founders of the National Trust along with some other chaps. And do you know, I love what it says here on the back. It says, "The Spirit of God is around you in the air that you breathe, and His glory in the light that you see, and in the fruitfulness of the earth and the joy of its creatures. It was written for you day by day with His revelation, as He has granted you day by day your daily bread." I just love how that really captures that our existence is such a gift. Everything around us is such a blessing. The beauty we have to stay vigilant to, because if we miss it, suddenly life is a curse, and it's not a gift, but it is designed to be the best thing that we can have. And that relationship with God or nature or whatever it is that works for us is, or needs to be, our absolute foundation.
Friars Crag jets out from the woodland to provide mind-blowing views across Derwent Water. The serene spot is believed to be the embankment point for monks making a pilgrimage to St Herbert's Island, located to the southwest of the crag.
Morning, alright. I'm down on the beach now, so this is the Keswick launch area. We've got some blue sky forming behind us, which is insanely amazing, and I can see the launch in front of me. I've got 20 minutes just under to go spare before we set out, which is great. It should be about half an hour boat trip. I'm just going to really enjoy this. I'm so stoked, but let's get to the boat and hand in my ticket first. Got a few ducks there. Oh, look at the little ones. Oh. Yep, all sorted. So I've got my ticket, and that's going to be the launch we're going on.
The Keswick Launch Company was formed in 1935, when numerous independent operators on the lake joined together to form the company.
Cool, thank you.
There are now 5 vessels working on the lake throughout the year, providing a popular attraction to the 15 million tourists that visit the national park each year.
Thank you.
Tell you to get up and I'll get them.
Yeah. Righty ho, let the walk commence. This really isn't far at all. I'm just going to work down to, I think it's Nicole's End, I think that's what it's called, from here, which is just a nice amble through the forest, through some farmland, along the shores of Derwentwater. So this area of woodland I'm walking through now, I mean, you can see these trees here, just how gnarly the branches are. Everything's quite spindly. This is what we call Cecil woodland, so it's an ancient type of oak woodland. You can see, let me find a leaf for you, our typical British oak tree. I just absolutely adore the shape of these leaves. They just make me smile every single time. These ones have clearly been attacked by something though. But what we're also seeing here on the floor of this woodland is, first of all, new growth. We've got an ash tree here, I believe that's ash, coming through, and another one here. So obviously the seed has taken in the soil and is now growing up, and we've got this competition from these younger leaves coming up. Obviously going to be competing with this giant for light and nutrients. But then what we've also got is these plants here. Now these are bilberry, and at the moment they've not got bilberries on, but bilberry is a wild type of blueberry that you find in ancient woodland across the UK. We can see the ground and all the shrubs are really quite low, and again that's because of the dense canopy, so it's quite challenging with the light penetrating through. There's a real competition here. And then we've just got this scattering of moss. We've got some, I think this is red feather moss here, and some other kind. It's just, when you actually stop to look at everything, there's so much going on. You just need to take the time and get to know what's what and why it's there. And then when you do, it just opens up this whole new perspective on the environment that you're walking through. And on that note, it's 11 o'clock.
The walking was flat and easy going, and I relished the spots where the tree line gave way to epic views across the lake.
Hey pup! Oh, bye then. Now this makes me smile a lot. What we've got here is a wooden sculpture of some hands, and again it's in commemoration of the National Trust and the work that they do. But there have been pictures of me and my family standing in these hands or around them pretty much every year that I've been alive. It's amazing to see how they've really worn and aged.
I could sense the stillness of Derwentwater was captivating my heart, and I stopped often to simply breathe and be wholly present in the blissful landscape that I found myself in. Appreciation pumped through my veins, partnered with a deep gratitude, and I could almost feel the years being added to my life.
I really love how even on this short walk the landscape can vary so much. Depending on the angle that we're on the lake, the views change, and then the landscapes we're actually walking through. So we've had the ancient forest, we've got this sort of open meadowland, we have more sort of urban areas as well. There's so much going on, and to see, just got to try and take it all in. Check this out, just walking through the woods and emerged to the right to a field of alpacas. Just doing their thing. The alpacas actually belong to the Lingholm estate, which is where I am now. You've got the kitchen and walled garden. They've got food, drink shop and a gallery. And it's free entry to the walled garden. I've never been in here before. I'm really doing very well for time. Thought we could have a look. Oh wow, they're gorgeous. Oh wow, this bridge. Gosh, check out this tree. It's pretty gnarly all the way up. That bark, wow. It's a beech tree that seems to have gone all amazing. Whoa, check this place out. How have I never been here before? It's massive.
Lingholm House was built in the 1870s by the prominent Victorian architect Alfred Waterhouse. The alpacas were brought to the estate a few years ago, and there's now over 50 animals that live there. They offer walks, feeding sessions, and the Alpacally Ever After product range, including hats, gloves and scarves made from their wool.
Let's have a look at the gardens then. So we've got this billboard here, and it says during the First World War that Lingholm was used as a military hospital for injured officers, and then during the Second World War as a boarding school for children evacuated from the northeast. And it wasn't until the early 1900s that it became an ornamented garden during the Victorian times, when that sort of thing became more popular to do. The appreciation for the natural world and wildlife and botany grew, and I guess this place started to thrive from that. Let's have a look in here. This is like a potting shed. They've got all the beautiful, beautiful plants here that they're getting ready to plant. Oh, dude, check that out. Ouch. And then this giant thing, which is just kind of chilling out there. Oh, I can't even tell you how fragrant it is in here. I'm loving how they've used these ropes for, I don't know, these beans or something to grow up. Very clever.
The writer, Beatrix Potter, spent 10 family holidays at Lingholm between 1885 and 1907, visiting in the summer months from her home in London. It was the landscape around Derwent that inspired her earliest books, such as The Tales of Squirrel Nutkin and The Tales of Mrs. Tiddlywink. The Lingholm kitchen garden was also the inspiration for Mr. McGregor's garden in The Tale of Peter Rabbit.
We're going to press on to Nicole End, which is probably only about half a mile away, and I'll kind of figure out a plan from there. It's very funny. Thank you very much.
Okay, have fun.
Back for two.
No bother. See ya.
Cheers. So there we go then, I've rented a canoe from Nicole's End, I'm sat in it, I am on Derwent Water, and I'm so stoked to be able to see the shoreline from a slightly different perspective. It's nice not to have the noise of an engine, but to be completely powered by my own strength. We've got intermittent sunshine and it's getting a bit choppy now. You can see that there's a storm coming in over Skiddaw and the wind is forming quite a few waves, which I'm now having to try and paddle against. But I'm starting to make my way back, even though I'm getting blown in the wrong direction. This is where a two-person job is definitely better. And relax. I'm making the most of a free voucher I had to get a coffee, and I might have just accidentally ended up with this. How do I eat that? I don't even know. With some cream and some jam and a pretty awesome outlook. Oh, I miss my Westie. Oh, you love rubby dummies too. Yeah, is that nice? You're beautiful. Look at Westie. So the village I'm actually heading to is called Portinscale, and it's literally about half a mile from here, really not that far, and then just follow the route all the way around to Keswick. And I mentioned the Cumbria Way, so I walked that walk back in 2015 with my mum. It was a really great route. I think it was about 80 something miles maybe, but did it in 5 days through the Cumbrian Mountains. Absolutely spectacular route. Check out the video if you're looking for some inspiration or you just want to see more of the Lake District, because that was a real special route and I'd highly recommend it. Blacksmith's Cottage, Smithy Cottage, Forge Cottage. It's just amazing how the names of buildings can be such a giveaway to what use or function it had in the past. It's like the only thing that can take us back.
Keswick is a major hub in the Lake District and visited by millions each year. The town became widely known for its association for the poets Samuel Taylor Coleridge and Robert Southey, and alongside William Wordsworth based at Grasmere, they made the scenic beauty of the area known widely to readers in the UK and beyond. In the main square is the iconic Moot Hall, dating back to 1813. Records show that the lower ground was used for a market, selling meat, butter, eggs and poultry, whilst upstairs was continued for its traditional role as a courthouse. Nowadays though, the building is used as the Keswick Information Centre and is well worth a visit.
Alright, so that's Keswick. I'm going to head down to the lake again now so we can start to work our way back up to the campsite, which is another couple of miles, but we'll just take our time. The weather's steadily getting cooler, which is ideal. And yeah, we'll just make our way back to the campsite. And all is well. To my right is Hope Park. It's kind of like a family area of crazy golf and boat racing and things. Such a fun place. Recognize this place? We are back where we started. This is the Keswick launch, and this is what it looks like when everybody's here. Much busier, and the views have changed just slightly. The wind is definitely picking up now, but that is us done for today. Now I'm going to work my way back to the campsite, which is just another couple of miles, and crash out, make sure I'm resting up my shoulder ready for tomorrow. But today has been the most enjoyable day, starting with quite an early start, which was grand when you're camping, why not? And then going on the boat, that was just the most exciting thing, bring out my inner child, which is kind of my outer child, let's be honest. And then meandering our way along the shoreline of Derwentwater before going canoeing, which was just epic, and then coming back through Keswick, which is just such a bustling place that I absolutely love. It really captures my heart, and all the outdoor shops I can't help but get drawn in. But I'm just gonna work my way back, as I said. I might find a quiet spot and just sit for a little bit, just enjoy the peace, enjoy that view. You can really see how the clouds coming in along with the wind, but I'm just going to breathe and smile at the fact that I'm here in the Lake District and I have had a good day. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, enjoy your adventures and stay wild.